want him in the England team for next
Mm,
year's World Cup.
mm.
So we don't want him out for too long.
No.
That, and as you say, Delap as well doesn't help because he's a very good player.
Mm,
I don't know. I mean, it was interesting. Was it last weekend with the manager when the television cameras went on him? He was sat up there in the stand, wasn't he? Because he was sent off the previous week. Was it 2 games banned from the touchline, something like that? And
mm.
you can only imagine how frustrated a manager gets when they're so used to having the perfect view of the game. I mean, I know they probably don't see it like that, but unlike everyone in the stands and in the stadium, they get this perfect right up front view of what's happening. So it's a great position to be in. So when you're shoved into the stand because
Mm.
you've been sent off, they must really feel that they can't be bellowing out to their players. They're probably not allowed to anyway, but it wouldn't obviously work like that. So
Yeah.
he looked a bit frustrated up there in the stands. But of course, Chelsea were winning that game at the weekend. Who was it? Was it Newcastle they were playing? No, Sunderland, wasn't it? We talked about Sunderland,
We did.
and they were winning, and Sunderland came back to actually beat them. So I don't know. Perhaps I don't know enough about individual players. I mean, they've got good players. I mean, Trevor
Yeah.
Chalobah, he was at Palace on loan last season for a few months, and then they called him back because of injury problems they had. But yeah, he's an excellent defender. They have got excellent footballers. So
Mm.
I think we come back to so often a team will go through kind of a corporate crisis of confidence that when it's a bit like Liverpool, when the confidence level goes down, those players, as we say, don't suddenly become bad players overnight. Of course they're not.
Mm.
Anyone who's played, I mean, I played football a few years ago, and
Mm.
it's a hard game, but you can always tell. If I used to play in the midfield, and the really good players, I mean, they go past you as if you're not there. I mean, that's a much lower level and standard than the league and certainly the Premier League. So we know the players that they're brilliant, really, most of them. I mean, perhaps that's the wrong word because some of them are more steady, workman-like journeymen, if you like, but they've still got that quality that you need in the Premier League, a determination to win, being strong, being tough. And we see it is a contact game because a lot of stuff now is let go by the refs, and I think that's a good thing
Mm.
generally because it doesn't forever keep stopping the game. But it is a tough game, and Chelsea's players, I can think of them. I don't always remember their full names, but they're excellent footballers, and the fact they won that competition in the summer says something like that. But they don't suddenly become a bad team like Liverpool or Man City or anybody else. Something
Mm.
changes, and as I say, maybe it's to do with the opposition. The opposition is forever getting a bit closer to the better teams and getting better, more motivated. And of course, when you are one of the best teams, for other teams, every match is a bit like their cup final. Even in the Premier League, the lower teams, go and play Liverpool, Man United, still Man United because they've got that image. Man City, it's the cup final of other teams. So they're putting more into it. So to actually win, as they say, win the Premier League is tough, but to maintain it is tougher. So you can only marvel at Pep Guardiola, who won 4 on the trot, and Man City, because they were always the target team that
Mm.
needed to be beaten. And I think Chelsea are a bit like that. They still have that aura about them of a very very good football team. They always have been really, and very very good. So that for a team like Sunderland to come up and beat them, having been losing, okay, we can talk about a couple of players who are out injured, but then that applies to most teams at different times in the season, very regularly. So you can't in the season very regularly. So you can't really put it down to that because, as I said about Eze and Palace, one player rarely makes a team. They can certainly add something a bit special, and they do, these special players. That's why they're in demand, and big money is paid for them. But generally, the structure of the team is pretty good, pretty sound, because of the basis of, to be in the Premier League in the first place, you've got to be pretty good. And I don't think Chelsea are any less of a team than they were 6 months ago or whenever. I just think, as I say, we see these ups and downs through confidence, maybe other factors creep in, maybe one or two players are not fully fit. Who knows? But I don't see Chelsea have problems at all. I think they'll come good. I don't think they're going to win it this season. It's easy to say Arsenal. We can say, well, Arsenal will, but we don't know that. It is early in the season. I don't decry Arsenal. I think they're a very good side. If anything, they probably are the best side at the moment in the country. Whether Arteta can keep that momentum going to win it, good luck to him. I hope he does in that way. But it's a tough competition to win. I think Chelsea will always be up there in the top 4, 5, say 6 maximum. If they finished outside of the top 6, I'd be very, very surprised.
Yeah, I mean they are the best. They are one of the best playing teams in the Premier League at the moment. I mean their form is really, really good, which is why when they played Crystal Palace and they won, I was like, well, they're really, really good, and well, if Crystal Palace still had Eze in attack, I don't think they would have won, because all right, it would have been a really close call if they won. It wouldn't be one goal, but because the attack, Crystal Palace attack, needs a bit of work now that Eze is gone, so so they got away with that. But to score 1-0 is not very impressive, though.
No, it's not.
It's not very impressive.
Well, what I think happened there, to interrupt that, Saka, who I think he was very well marshalled by Mitchell, our left back, and also Pino, who was apparently asked to give his attentions to Saka as well, because Saka is such a match winner, and he was eventually taken off in the second half, substituted, because Palace had controlled him. Yeah. Anyway, that's about it, I think, for this week, isn't it?
Yeah, this is all we've got time for. Do you want to do the closing remark, please, bro?
Yes, we sort of get caught in midships, don't we, in the middle of a conversation, but that's the way it goes. I hope you've heard something you've found a bit interesting today. We hope to be back next week. Hope you'll join us. I'm Trevor Gear, and he calls me Cuz. No, he doesn't. I'm Trevor Gear, and he calls me bruv. Sorry.
And I'm Emmy Hikins, and he calls me Cuz. It's a goodbye from me.
And goodbye from me. See you next time.
See you next week.